Hello. Just some thoughts about the Ray Comfort Thunderfoot discussion. Thunderfoot made quite clear that he intended this to be a discussion, not a debate, and that is exactly what happened. And he made very clear that this was not a fight, a competition, anything other than an exchange of views, or at least a presentation of them by two different people. And what I want to touch on very delicately is that Thunderfoot did an excellent job of both speaking from the point of view of someone making clear that the universe does not care what we believe and acts in a way that we know of is best approached by the scientific method. Observation, make a hypothesis, make an observation to confirm or deny that hypothesis under controlled conditions, and then evaluate the evidence, tweak the hypothesis as needed, or discard it and attempt to create a new one. And when presented with emotional questions, such as the question about whether you would save your nasty neighbor or your dog if you had to choose between them, he approached it in a very human way. And more power to him. The flip side of this is Comfort's approach was almost entirely an emotional one, which I suspect comes from the position that the state of grace, the feeling of being saved, the feeling of being connected to the truth, is the default working position for someone defending religious belief. And when challenged on the particulars of this, the various rules, the various particular beliefs, all of those are secondary to, well, do I feel saved or not? And a skilled theologian can tie you up in knots with this, but the rational argument isn't going to make a dent in that. The acknowledgement that the best, I don't want to say winning converts, but drawing the connection between rationality and reality in the mind of someone who is focused on religious belief is a task that no one can help them with, but it can be encouraged by, in some cases, showing that yes, you are human, yes, you do have empathy, no, you are not a cold, emotionless robot that has forsaken the very things that make us human. And I think Thunderfoot did an excellent job of that. And I think he presented his case very well. I think Comfort did us a service by giving us a chance not to examine his arguments, but the context in which he places them and the positions which he operates from. And I found it remarkably similar to discussing matters of belief that are deeply held in many, many spheres. The most difficult of these being discussing with a Scientologist, but confirmed that feeling I have, that the only way to make the case that if you're going to pretend to be connected to the universe, you have to respect the conditions under which it moves and changes. The only way to do that is to respect that the person sitting across from you as a human being, yes, is capable of rationality, but also the ground state that human beings operate from is emotion and is feeling. Else, for instance, I would go on and on and on until I had completely exhausted this topic, rather than going, no, I think I've said enough, and probably am done for reasons I can't articulate, but which just feel right. That common bond in communication is what will enable us to bridge these gaps in communication. And with that, I thank you for your time and attention, and have a good weekend.